Jap gunboats were blasting the water nearer and nearer the American submarine that had just rammed her. A few seconds more, the rain. Commander Howard Gilmore, rushing to follow his men down the hatch, was cut down by Jap machine gun bullets. Badly wounded, he knew the time needed to rescue him might mean the loss of his ship. Without a moment's hesitation, he ordered, "Take her down." And down she went. The submarine to safety, the gallant commander to his death. Keep that picture in your mind, friends. And when you're asked to buy an extra $100 war bond now in the fourth war loan drive, buy it. Put every dollar not needed for absolute necessities into bonds now. Not just because they're sound, profitable investments, but because they'll bring victory sooner, bring more men home. The Shadow, the serious character who aids the forces of law and order, is in reality Lamont Cranston, wealthy young man about town. Several years ago in the Orient, Cranston learned a strange and mysterious secret: the hypnotic power to crowd men's minds so they cannot see him. Cranston's friend and companion, the lovely Margot Lane, is the only person who knows to whom the voice of the invisible shadow belongs. A path to death. I'm not to reach that. Let me out. Let me out of this electric chair. No, wait. Don't touch the switch. No, don't. Don't. Don't.
Yeah, good morning.
Hello.
I'm right on time. Oh, Mr. Slaughter-Michael, no end. Come in.
Thanks, Margot. There's we queens and mothers-in-law to be kept waiting, but the cook, never. Besides, I'm hungry.
Well, we'll eat in a minute. First, I want you to meet someone. Not into the living room.
No, I don't.
Peter, here's the gentleman you've been so anxious to meet.
Is this Mr. Cranston?
Yes. Come on, you remember Alice Blackburn?
Yes, she is.
Well, this is his son, Peter.
Really? Well, hello, Peter. I knew your mother quite well before she moved south. She still talks a lot about you and Miss Lane. Oh, is that so? That's why I've been so anxious to meet you. What mother tells me, Gabby, you're quite something in the field of crime detection. Well, outside of being a headache to the police commissioner once in a while, Peter, I don't think you could call me more than an interested amateur.
That isn't what the commissioner calls you. Sit down, won't you?
Oh, thanks, Margot. Well, up north on a little vacation, Peter? Well, no, Mr. Cranston. I'm up here on business. You have to be a part of that business. I am?
Peter's taking up journalism in college, Lamont, and school set him up to do an article on prison management.
Well, that's interesting.
We want you to help him.
Of course, I'll be only too happy to help you, Peter. Prison management's a bit out of my line.
Well, all he wants is a pass to visit the state prison. I assured him that you could arrange that for him, Lamont.
Well, I don't want just the usual visitor's pass. I want to write about the whole work, especially the death chamber. Reckon that's about the most interesting place in the prison. For a budding journalist, I suppose it is. Well, I think you can count on the pass. I'll arrange it as soon as you want to go. Oh, that's swell, Mr. Cranston. Thanks a lot. This is going to be a real thrill. I've never been in a death chamber before. All right, Peter, this is on your head. I don't think you'll find it a pretty place. Oh, this is your first visit to the state prison, young man? Well, this is my first visit to any prison. I see, and it should be doubly interesting. Oh, it is. Say, when do we see the death chamber? I especially want to see that. You'll be in the death chamber soon enough. Well, I guess I must seem pretty anxious to you. But you see, I'm studying journalism. Journalism? Did you say journalism? Yes, I'm preparing an article for the college paper. A student of journalism should know who I am. Take a good look at my face. Ever see me in the papers? No, I can't say that I have. Never mind, you're young. It was before your time. Well, I guess you've been working here in the prison a long time. Those drops on your feet, each of those stripes have been sewed on for every 5 years I've served the state. 5 years? God, that's 5, 10, 52 to be exact. 52 years inside prison walls? God, doesn't it give you the willingness to be on? I'm proud of my service. I only wish I could serve again as I have in the past. But I should hold on. Just a minute now. Oh, what's this? Step in, please. So it's dark in here. Yes, this is the death chamber. What? The death chamber? Put on the light. There we are. There's nothing to be afraid of.
No, of course not.
Excuse me. Now, here's the room you've been so anxious to see. The last sight on your trip. It's kind of spooky in here. Spooky? Why, this is one of the best kept rooms in the institution. And that's the electric chair over there? Yes, it's not quite as sinister looking as you expected, I suppose. That depends on the way you look at it. But I think of the men that have died in that chair. Why, my dear boy, death is nothing. Nothing? The most majestic experience of life. Nothing has greater nobility than death. Yeah, I suppose so. Hey, it's getting warm in here. I guess we better be going, huh? Going? Why, I haven't told you anything about the death chamber yet. Oh, I know. You see that door over there? Well, the pre-execution cells are just beyond. There are 10 men in there now waiting to sit in the seat of the fallen. Seat of the electric chair, of course. When they're brought in, the executioner will stand here at this panel, his hand on the switch. The men are strapped in. The warden gives the signal. The switch is thrown in like this. Don't be alarmed. The chair is quite harmless until those wires are plugged in. And they're the electrodes that carry the power through from the powerhouse. Oh, that's very interesting. Now, I guess I got more material than I need for mine. Well, you wouldn't go without sitting in the chair. What would I want to do a thing like that for? Why, every visitor sits in the chair. It's something to tell your friends. Come, sit down. If you don't mind, I'd rather go. This is an experience you'll never forget. Here, let me help you. Sit right down. Well, it's customary, of course. There you are. Now, I'll show you how it feels to be trapped in. That's the chest strap. Well, you certainly did that all the day. Now, the right arm. And the left. Oh, that's enough. You got this chest strap so tight, I can have the right leg like this. And the left. Well, look, listen. Maybe you didn't hear me, but I said I had enough. Then we drop the hip piece down like this. And there you are. All snug and ready for the most noble, most majestic experience in life. What do you mean? You are now ready for death. Now look here. Hey, what are you doing with those electrodes? No, don't do that. Take your hand off that switch. No. Just a minute, Cranston. Hold it. Hello? Yes, Commissioner Weston. Who? Oh, yes, Nancy. How'd you make out? That's so. Well, that's just what I thought. I just thanked the medical examiner and report back here. There you are, Cranston. You're barking in your beard. That was Clancy. Down at the medical examiner's office now. Medical examiner got Peter Wentworth's body? Yeah, I had it picked up this morning. There's not a mark or a burn on it. No evidence whatever of violent death. Does he know the cause? He suspects heart failure, ready to release the body for burial. Without performing an autopsy? You going to let him do that? Oh, look, Cranston, I got to have a little more than your suspicions before I can put the state to the expense of an autopsy. See? Well, come in, Sergeant. Thanks, Chief. How'd you make out? See the warden? Yeah, I noticed around the prison a bit everybody was very cooperative. But when I hinted that the Wentworth kid might have been given a skid, why, they just showed me a lot of teeth. See, Cranston, you're the only one that suspects foul play in this case. Also, the warden got on it? Yeah. He was the one that laughed the loudest when I asked him if the kid might have gotten a nut. Then I talked with a guy named Allard. Who's Allard? Oh, he was the last to see young Wentworth alive. He's an old cod. He's been in the prison long enough to be part of the foundation. They just bedded him down on account of he's too old to work anymore. Oh, I had to troop out to his home. Where does he live? Far out on the coast as he could get. His shack is perched down on a rock ledge like somebody had dared to build it to see if he could balance his way up. Oh, yes, never mind about that. Just tell us what Allard had to say about young Wentworth. Well, he says the death house is no place for people with plum hearts. Well, Cranston, I guess you ought to be satisfied by now. You have the word of it. I'm not satisfied. Now, look, I'm thankful to you for what you've done, but I intend to do a little more digging before I'm satisfied. Oh, Miss made. Well, come on in. Make the party complete. How'd you make out, Margaret? Did you talk to Peter's mother?
Yes, I just talked to her on the phone.
What did she have to say?
There will be no autopsy. What? Peter did have a heart condition.
You don't say. What do you think of that, Cranston?
He was rejected to the Air Force last night.
So that settles it. Now let's go out and have a bite of lunch and fix the whole this way. And I have very personal stake in this case. Peter Wentworth's mother is an old friend of Margot's family, and I gave the boy his pass to death. But hang it all, man, don't you see? I see only one thing. Peter Wentworth was murdered. Now look, I want to straighten you out on one thing. If you think Peter Wentworth was electrocuted in that chair, I can wipe that idea out of your mind right this minute.
How, Commissioner?
Because there's no power flowing to the electric chair except during a legal execution. When a man is to be executed, the fuse has to be turned on in the main powerhouse. Then the electrodes are plugged in near the chair. In other words, the contact has to be made at both ends. Do you get that? Yes, we get that, Commissioner. Now you get this. Did you know that a man died in that death chamber only a few weeks ago? Right. Under very similar circumstances? Well, that's news to me. Right, Commissioner. And it'll be news to you, too, when it's proven conclusively that Peter Wentworth was murdered. There's a prisoner who's off the bottom of the hill, Margot. You can park right here.
Oh, Lamont, you have to go through with it.
Yes, Margot, I do. The only way I can possibly find out what happened to Peter is by going through the prison just as he did, as a visitor.
I only hope you won't come out just as he did.
You're afraid, aren't you?
Well, why wouldn't I be? I've already lost the son of one of my best friends.
At least I know what I'm getting into.
Do you, Lamont?
Well, what do you mean?
A frightful feeling about all this. It's like there was something supernatural about it.
Maybe you're right, but I've got to find out.
Oh, you've got to. Do you have your pass?
It's right here. Laid out in the name of Prentice.
I hope Mr. Prentice will be very careful.
He will, Margot. You wait here for me. No matter what you see or hear, don't lose your courage.
Don't lose what? Lamont, what do you mean by that? Lamont!
This is the death chamber. Yes, Mr. Prentice. Of course, Prentice. Excuse me a moment. There we are. Your news is meeting this morning. I suppose this is the main point of interest for the visitors who take to the prison? Oh, they all want to see the death chamber. It has a strange fascination. Part of the prison seems to be completely deserted. Not many live ones around here. Very funny. Is this your regular job, taking visitors around? I've been doing it for several years. It's a poor substitute for the position that rightfully belongs to me. Position that rightfully belongs to you? What do you mean by that? Nothing at all. Come now, I'm a little nervous tonight. I understand. Suppose I'd be nervous too if I did the things you've done. The things I've done? I'm just thinking how I feel if I spent the better part of my life behind prison walls. It does play on the nerves. Well, it was very interesting too. You've been very patient. Oh, but your tour is not complete yet. Not complete? Why, you haven't sat in the chair. Oh, yes. Well, I'm afraid my curiosity doesn't go quite that far. But your tour won't be complete unless you can tell your friends you actually sat in the electric chair. Well, if you feel I'm spoiling your final touch, of course I'll sit in the chair. Good. Sit right down. Not a very comfortable seat, is it? Now, I've strapped you in. It won't take a minute. There. The chest strap's on already, see? Very good. Sound like an expert. I am an expert. Now the leg strap. You ever seen an execution? Just a moment. Your right leg. And the left. In the tightly strapped, I don't think I can move a muscle if I try. Yeah, quite so. There we are. Now, you asked me a question before. I asked if you'd ever seen an execution. Seen one? Did you ever hear of Martha Gomperson? Why, yes. She was the only woman ever executed in this chair. That's right. When I executed her, my last official act, the state executioner, they took my job away from me right after that. Said I was getting too old. Old? The fools. Nobody ever did as neat a job either before or since I was executioner. Surely you don't regret the fact you were redeemed for such a grisly job as that? It's a fine reward for faithful service. Just let it serve you, so you humiliate me by making me guide. But tomorrow... What about tomorrow? They're retiring me from the service entirely. But I that? What are you talking about? I came to this institution as state executioner. I leave it as an executioner. Oh, very interesting. You just unstrapped now. Yes, you. My dear man, you're going to have the honor of dying at the hands of the best executioner the state has ever had. The moment I'm going to attack those electrodes, pull the switch, and fling you into eternity. You'll die yourself in a chair. No, I won't. There won't be a mark on you. You die as only Fred Allard can execute a man, and nobody will ever suspect you haven't died from a heart attack. Allard, you're a fool if you think I'd followed your story. What do you mean? Well, I happen to know you can't kill a man unless the electrodes are plugged in on the main power line. My dear man, they are connected. Not to the main power line, but to the old dynamo that was once used for execution. It hasn't been used in years, except for the use I've made. Everybody's forgotten it but me. I have. Please, I'll be quiet. Certainly won't deprive me of my last chance to talk. You know, you're not only a peanut, you're a fool as well. Be quiet. You'll never get away with it. I've heard enough. To cover your face with the death man. Now, shut all you wait. Take the tail off my face. Now the electrodes. Turn the switch. Put the switch away. And now eternity. You expect to park here. I've got an hour and a half on you now.
Why, after I'm waiting for a friend.
Well, now that explains everything.
Oh, it sounds good.
No, it don't explain anything, and I wouldn't go so far as to say it's good. Don't you know this is a restricted area?
No, I didn't know that.
Well, I'm telling you now, you'll have to move along.
But, officer, my friend should be back any minute.
Yeah, so will my friend the sergeant, giving me the old Harry for being so lenient with the traffic laws.
Oh, just let me wait 5 minutes longer.
Well, where is this friend of yours?
Well, he went to visit prison about an hour and a half ago. Oh, tomorrow.
A visitor, did you say?
Yes.
And he went into the prison about an hour and a half ago?
Yes, that's right.
Was he a good friend of yours?
Was he? What do you mean by that?
Well, if it's the same man I'm thinking about, you're going to have a long wait, I'm afraid.
Why do you say that?
Because, lady, that poor fellow just died in the test chamber. You heard what the warden said. There won't be any pictures taken inside the prison. You gentlemen of the press might just as well scram out of here. Now, please, Miss Lane.
I told you I won't leave you until I see the nitrate. You ain't got to let me see.
I can't let you see him. The warden says nobody's to see him until the medical examiner gets him.
But I've got to. Don't you understand?
I do, Miss Lane. But don't you see I haven't any jurisdiction within these prison walls? It's up to the warden.
Oh, where is it? Where'd they go?
Right behind that door. His office.
Who's in there with him?
No one, just the body.
Well, I'm going to stay no matter what.
Oh, Miss Lane, wait. Don't go in there. Miss Lane, please. What is it, Miss Lane? What? Well, I'll be doggone. The body's disappeared. Hey, Mr. Allard! Mr. Allard! Hey, Mr. Allard, you there? Oh, who's that? It's me, Bob Pendergast. You all right? Of course I'm all right. What are you yelling like that in the middle of the night for? We're worried about you. It's all right. That hound dog of yours been yelling most all night. What's unusual about that? Don't see any reason for you wearing yourself out climbing up this cliff. Well, it ain't right when a hound dog yells like that. Folks say it means somebody died. Somebody's dying all the time. Now get on back to your cabin. Leave people alone. You hear that? Don't make a buddy skin creep. You reckon he sees you? What makes you think he's seeing something? Because I thought I saw something myself a while ago when I was sitting out for lobster traps for the night. What did you see? A man climbing the rocks along the shore. He was coming this way. Well, then I heard the dog yell. That's your imagination. Now go on home, go to bed. Well, all right, Mr. Wright. I shall get along. I'm glad to find out you're all right. Oh, what a soul-filling night this is, anyway. Well, good night, Mr. Rodney. Good night. Rick, here, come on, into your kennel with you now. Come on. Lie down now, lie down. You kind-hearted old hound. She's all like that every time I've executed somebody all through the years. And suppose he's yelling for the fool I sent to eternity tonight. She's afraid of death, just like a you. Just like the one I sent away a few hours ago. He didn't want to die. None of them want to die. But he's gone. And once again I wielded the power to take life.
But not the power to give it, Allard. You don't have that power.
What was that? Who said that? Who's out there? You back again, Mark?
No, Allard. Mark is well down the cliff by this time. We're alone. Just the two of us.
Who are you? Where are you?
I'm right here in the room with you.
That's a lie. I know where you are. You're hiding in this. Huh?
You see, I'm not in the closet. I'm beside you. Very close to you, Allard.
Who are you? What do you want?
You, Allard. Your crimes have caught up with you. I've come for you.
Go away. Don't come near me.
Why do you cower in the corner like that? Surely you're not afraid of death?
Yes?
One who has the power to take life should not be afraid to die himself.
Get out. Get out, I say. Get out before I kill you. Do you hear? Get out, get out.
See, Allard, it's useless. You can't kill what you can't see. Might as well put that knife away.
What have you come here for?
To end your criminal career, to bring you to justice.
I committed no crime.
I'll admit you did your job with fiendish cleverness, but you will not escape. The police are on the way here now.
They can't prove anything. Nobody knows what happened in the death chamber.
You're wrong, Allard. I know what happened. Your victim sat in the chair just as you're sitting in that armchair now. You bundled the straps around them until they were held even more tightly than I hold you now.
You touched me. You had just a voice. Who are you? Who are you?
You're at the end of your rope, Allard. Your only hope is to confess and clear your soul.
I admit nothing.
Yes, you will. I'm going to make you confess.
Make me confess. How can you do that?
Look, Allard. This corner of the room, right over here. That's it. Keep your eyes right where they are. Now I'm going to show you somebody you met only a few hours ago. Someone over whom you exercised your power of death. A man who killed in cold blood. Look out, what do you see? You recognize me now?
No, it can't be. You're dead. You're dead.
Confess, Allard.
You're dead. Go away, go away.
Who killed me? Who killed me a few hours ago? Who killed Peter Wentworth?
I don't know where you are.
Confess, Allard.
No, go away.
Confess.
No.
Confess.
All right. I did it. I killed him. But I'll never be taken alive. They'll never execute him. All right.
Allardyce is bloody at the bottom of the cliff.
That's right.
Well, now look. Mr. West will be here in a minute, and before he comes, there are two angles of this case I'd like to get clear in my mind.
Holding Margot, what are they?
Well, first I'd like to know how you found out about that old animal. Everybody in the prison has forgotten it, but Allardyce.
Oh, that was easy, Margot. The shadow just slipped into the prison and spent a few hours without us while he tinkered with his secret death machine.
But couldn't Allardyce tell that he wasn't getting any power to the chair when you sat on it?
No, he was getting power, Margot, but not enough to hurt me. The prison electrician and the warden helped me fix that.
Oh, and I suppose the warden had to carry out your hope of not being dead.
Correct, Margot? I suppose we had everybody fooled.
Oh, a little too well fooled. Mr. Weston still doesn't know you're alive.
Tell me, how did he take my death, Margot?
The monk, believe it or not, he cried like a baby.
Don't believe it.
It's a welcome one, honestly. There's Mr. Weston now.
I'll at the door, Margot.
Oh, easy now, Allard. Remember, you're supposed to be dead.
Yes, so I understand. Let's see how Commissioner Weston reacts to that slight exaggeration. Good evening, Commissioner.
Good evening. What? Oh, hey. Cranston, you're supposed to be dead. You were electrocuted.
Now, wait. Let me get this straight. I'm supposed to be dead, and I'm very happy to know you cried over my demise.
Now, that's a lie, Grant. Listen, I never cried in my life. Besides, I knew in my heart that you weren't.
Say, how did you come back to life? I mean, we know what you mean. Now, come on in and shake hands with a real live talk. And now let me introduce Blue Coal's distinguished heating expert, John Bartlett.
Thank you, Ken Roberts, and good evening, friends. Some folks, especially you ladies who put a little coal in the furnace during the day, are apt to look on the fire as a sort of pancake batter. You said about mixing it thoroughly with the poker. Actually, friends, stirring up the fire with the poker is one of the worst things you can do. Because you mix ashes, live coals, and fresh coal all together, and that forms clinkers. And you know, I'm sure, what grave clinkers can cause. How they choke the fire, prevent coal from burning completely, and damn your furnace great. So, friends, take a tip and lay that poker down. When you want to loosen the fire a bit, take the grate empty instead. And one more suggestion. Never burn refuse or garbage in your furnace. That also causes clinkers to form. And we've got to avoid clinkers to get the maximum heat out of our coal and make it last longer. I thank you. Based on a story copyrighted by Street and Smith Publications. The characters, names, places, and plots are fictitious. Any similarity to persons living or dead is purely coincidental. Again next week, the Shadow will demonstrate that the weed of crime bears bitter fruit. Crime does not pay. The Shadow knows. Same station, your friendly Blue Coal dealer brings you another strange and thrilling adventure from the Shadow's daring battle against the forces of evil. Be sure to listen. This is Ken Roberts saying, keep the home fires burning with Blue Coal. This story produced by the B&W Coal Company, distributors of Blue Coal. This is